Welcome. Hello. My name is Simi Kaur. This is Hollywood Junket. And joining me today are executive producers Sam Donnelly and Jason Raff from America's Got Talent All-Star. So thank you guys for joining me. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. We're good. How are you?
Let's launch right into the first question. So we have 5 golden buzzers, on All-Stars, 60 acts totals with 11 acts going to the finals. Now we can determine that the last performance episode will only have 1 act going through, selected by the superfans, correct?
Yes,
that's correct.
That's correct. I'm trying to do your math really quickly. But yes.
I know you're.
But yes, you are 100% correct.
So this is not a wild card. Okay.
No.
How are the superfans selected, and how are the votes being casted?
Well, superfan. You want me to go, Sam?
No, you go.
Yeah. The super fans are literally fans of the show. So we went out and had people from all around the country who wanted to take part in this, get in contact with us and put in their application to be a super fan. And so we found people, a diverse group of people of all ages, and who would then they would watch the actual tapes, and then they would vote in an online process. And it was all done by a third party voting company.
So in the first and second episodes, we saw that the past contestants who competed against each other on America's Got Talent are also competing against each other on All Stars. Is this going to be a running theme on All Stars?
Sorry, I don't quite understand.
Oh, having like Dustin against
okay.
Dustin against the aerialist.
Aiden and Dustin. Yeah.
We're both tired today. Like we're just trying to get these shows out each week, so there's been some late nights. So bear with us. But go ahead, Sam.
It's not. It wasn't. No, it's not a running theme throughout the shows. But yeah, it's not something that you will see as a ongoing apart from those 2 episodes.
It wasn't something we didn't set out to do. In fact, a lot of it had to do with scheduling and the variety of talent in the acts. And I mean, the real goal of it was to have the very best competing against each other, whether it was the same year or not. And seeing the winners from the different countries is always fun for Sam and I, because we get to see clips of them and hear about them, but to have them come to America often for the first time and compete against winners from the US, that was the real theme and goal of the show.
So how did you guys choose which types of acts to bring into the All-Stars?
Well, like Jason just touched upon, the idea was to make the most entertaining Olympics of talent. It was the best of the best from all around the world, not just AGT. So we reached out to all of those acts, all of the winners, all of the people that had great viral moments, all of the fan favorites, all of the people that had the best opportunities, and especially people that perhaps, and Aiden was a really good example of this, people who perhaps maybe would have done better or perhaps could have won if they've made a different decision back when they were in the original series. And I think that was something that Aiden was a really good example of. He did so well in his performance, as you saw. And I think Simon's commentary was even, if he'd have done that in the final, perhaps it would have been different for him back then. So I think that was one of the more interesting parts of the show that we all really enjoyed to see.
And I think for Sam and I, it's kind of fun just from a personal level, because we spend an entire year coming up, traveling the country pre-COVID. It takes a long time for the America Got Talent team to go through thousands and thousands of auditions each season. And then you find these acts and you get to love them ourselves and see how they progress. And then the final happens and then it's done. Like they go off on their own. So it's for us, I think it's real rewarding to see the successes that they've had and bring them back and have them kind of compete once again.
And it's also, and adding on that, it's also a bit like seeing family come back. I mean, I think you see sometimes in the show the judges' reactions when certain people walk out, and I think we feel the same way too. And then Aiden has gone on to actually perform and star in the Vegas version of AGT. So seeing him go from a 16-year-old kid that was learned his sort of trade, his craft off of YouTube, and now he's a professional, earning his living and starring in a big glossy, you know, Vegas show. I mean, that's so great for us to see, and we feel like that about pretty much everybody that came back. So it had a very warm feeling for us.
What type of acts are you guys seeing that have grown in popularity that maybe wasn't the case years ago, closer to when America's Got Talent first started?
I mean, I would say I'll go first. You can think, Sam. I mean, for me, the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, two things. Number one, I think the magic has really evolved over the years. I think even on a pop culture level, I believe that AGT's had an influence in magic kind of having a resurgence in the last 5 years. You know, we've had some amazing magicians on the show. We've had some magicians who won. If you go to Vegas now, most of the shows, if you take out the big headlining Celine Dion type of acts or whatever, are magic acts. And I believe that AGT and the viewers who like AGT have helped kind of put magic back into pop culture. And then the other thing that I would say that we've always seen is the innovation of technology meets entertainment. And like we had metaphysics this year with Simon, using technology, but how can acts use technology in an innovative way? And you can think of Light Balance, who also was in the Vegas AGT show currently, who, you know, did a performance in the dark using LED technology and computer technology. That has become quite popular, and that's something that, well, didn't really exist or feels really old-fashioned when you look at the technology from 18 years ago when we started. I think it was black lights, right, Sam? It would be like, yes. People, you throw some black lights on some TV, dancers, honestly. And it was like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, I think added to that, I think what AGT has done over the years is good, because talent shows have been around forever. And I think what AGT did and continues to do, and as it evolves and moves forward, is it really introduces you to people as well. So, you know, the story of the person is very important, and you get to really love them. Because previously talent shows, you just got to saw the person. They came out there, they did the act. You never really got to know that much about them. So I think that's one of the things that maybe AGT has kind of brought into this talent show.
Also, Sam, we talk about this too, it is an old-fashioned format.
Yeah.
When you look at some old-fashioned talents like ventriloquism.
Yeah.
Like that was really popular a long time ago. And then it was not something you would ever see on television prior to AGT. Now, Terry Fader won the show at season 2. And since then, as Sam and I kind of audition prospective acts and our team throughout the country, now we have kids who like, and you'll see it on All Stars too, like who watched the show, saw Terry Fader, and now have picked up ventriloquism, which to make ventriloquism even more so than magic popular again is definitely a credit to AGT.
Yeah. It's actually, and I think as well, the thing about the talents that are popular, it's what you say is also true, Jason. We do talk about this too, which is the show actually raises the bar on itself. So people will watch a talent, they'll watch dance or they'll watch mime or whatever it might be, and then they'll create, people are so creative and so brilliant, and they'll come up with a new version of it just from seeing what that is. So they're sort of, we have this thing where they're kind of, each year people are more innovative based on what they've seen on our show before, and it's just fascinating to watch.
So it was surprising to see certain acts go home early, and in episodes 1 and 2, which eliminations from those 2 episodes shocked you the most?
I mean, it's really hard to predict how audiences and how people will react to things. However, I will say that the format was tough. I mean, there was 1 golden buzzer and there was 1 audience vote. So, and these are really high quality acts. They really are the best. They're the fan favorites. They're the cream of the crop from around the world. So it was tough. It was really, really tough. It's hard to say. I think kind of like so many of them could make it.
Yeah, when we got the results, I think we were waiting. We were, sorry, I cut you off, but we were waiting for the results. We had no idea. You know, I will say most of the results were very, very, very tight. It wasn't like If Terry Fader lost, it's not like it was a landslide voting. Like it was so close. We've never seen anything so close as far as the percentages between these winning acts. So just with one going through, I mean, we had the same thing even in the live shows, because we did that for the first time, you know, where like not less acts were going through, right? To the final. And it was like, oh my God, to see some of the people who you thought would be in there, but you knew everyone couldn't fit into the final. Like it's difficult even for us, because it's like, you want to see them again. I want to see them again.
So each episode feels like a finale episode. Now, we can't help but think if the contestants were grouped differently, we would see a different voting result, right? So what do you guys think? How was it determined how the contestants would be grouped?
Yeah, would there be a different voting result? I mean, who knows? Who's to say? Like that's, you could say that about every at least in AGT, where we don't do a knockdown format, right? Like in AGT proper, whoever is in the semifinal is in the semifinal. We had to deal with a lot of scheduling. So a lot of who was in what episode had to do with their availability. Terry Fader is not available whenever you want him. A lot of these acts, because they are all stars, are established acts that had to pull away from a show for, I can come on Tuesday and that's the only day I could come. So it was just luck of the draw and availability of what determined who goes into what episode.
Thank you so much for taking your time joining us today. I know you guys are very, very busy. Everyone, please check out America's Got Talent. And today, this was our executive producers, Sam Donnelly and Jason Raff, the brilliant people behind the show. So thank you so much again for joining us. And for any more info, any more videos, join our YouTube channel, Hollywood Junket, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.